Welcome to this video on the process of setting up Simon's concrete forms for the foundation. What we've done is, well, there's a pile of Simon's forms. There's a pile over there. And there's a bunch over here as well. Now I picked these up from Kansas, which is about 2 hours away. And what we did was, my brother-in-law kind of drew a map of the house here and labeled each side. And then based off of those labels, he kind of sketched out what size pieces go where. So what I'm going to do today is basically go off that chart and lay forms out, so that way they're easily accessible while I'm in the trench, so I can just grab them off the side and install them. So I just need to be doing just a lot of moving of forms. It's no fault of anyone's, but when you're getting this many forms or using this many forms, it's hard to know exactly what you need and it's easy to miss some things. So hopefully today I get a better understanding of what I have, possibly what I may need to get to fill in the missing pieces. So yeah, it's just a lot of measuring and carrying forms around. So alright, so I've done about half the work actually laying out the forms, but I did go through and calculate everything and came up with quite the list of stuff I still need in order to finish forming up the foundation. So here's my list. So like of this, I need 30 more of those, 15 more, well it's 11, but 4 more are up here. So quite a substantial list actually. I'm pretty surprised, but that's the way it goes. So fortunately there's several places that will rent these forms out to me, so I'm gonna see if any of them have that much of what I need available. So I'm just going to work on moving all these right here have to be moved over to along that back wall, and then a few over there as well. So I'm gonna get after it. Good morning. I'm here getting ready to set up my first concrete form. It's gonna be over here to the right. Since I'm alone and I don't have someone to hold the form, I've already pre-attached my brace to a stake. This will tie onto the top of my first form, and then I have everything laid out that I need. I have these concrete nails. I don't know if you can see those or not. That's what they look like. I'm gonna nail through the bottom of the form into the concrete to hold the base. I have these, they're called wedges, pins and wedges. They're what I use to tie the forms together, along with these flat ties. These flat ties extend through the wall to tie the two, the inside and the outside, together. And then I also have the sprayer of diesel. I'm just gonna spray it on the forms. The diesel helps the concrete not bond to the plywood on the concrete forms. So I just do that in preparation to set the forms up. And now I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. All right, so I got started and I already found a couple things to note. First off, at the beginning, it's nice to have something to stand on, which I'm sure you saw, using a bucket to stand on. But these braces are threaded here at this joint. It allows me to put a piece of rebar through it and twist it so I can level off the wall. So I got my first panel set, and then from there I need a brace about every 12 feet. So once I get over here, I got another one and one over there. So, and then on the back side, what I've been doing is, it's hard to see, but I got these concrete nails that I'm putting down here. I don't know if you can see that well, but I'm staggering, you know, going on the outside of the hole on this panel, the inside of the hole on that panel. Just keeps it more, keeps the wall kind of tight where I want it to be, so it's straight there at the base. And then these pins, this is how the pins and the wedge work. So for these longer panels, there's 8 pins and wedges per panel. And here, I'll do another one. So the pin slides through, and there's a hole on top that this wedge slides down inside. And I just make it snug because I'll tap on it, but not tight, because it just makes it more difficult to take apart, and the concrete's gonna make it tight when I pour the wall. One other thing to notice is I put this in this way, and it works just fine. However, once I go to take the concrete forms off, it's gonna be a lot more difficult to pound the pin out with my left hand, because I'm right-handed. So just make it a little easier. Slide the pin in from the left, slide this pin down. That way my right hand, running the hammer, has easier access to pop this pin out, because trust me, it will be tight. And a lot of times these ones are really tight to pound out, but it just makes it easier for me going down the road, or down the road. So that's what I'm doing back here. All right, so I made a mistake. You probably recognize something different about this wall than when I did it before. That's right, there's flat ties. So the other wall is gonna tie onto those. There's a lot of moving pieces, and I forgot to put the flat ties in. So flat ties slide in first, like, yay. And then that first wedge slides through that first slot in the flat tie. I've also discovered on the bottom here, rather than put the concrete nail in the middle in that big old slot, there are smaller holes on the edges. So just one in each panel. Right there, right there. And then there's one over here as well. And that way there's no movement whatsoever. So also, instead of trying to hang on to pins and ties and wedges while I'm setting the next panel, I've since laid out what I need on the form previously installed. That way it's easily accessible once I set the panel up to just grab and slide in. So today is day 3 of putting together my concrete forms. I'm doing the exterior wall of the foundation first, then I put the rebar inside, and then do the inside walls. So it's pretty time consuming, and it can be a little challenging. It's just myself, but I enjoy it, so it's nice. And today is fantastic weather, fantastic weather. I hope to finish all of the exterior walls by midnight tonight. So that means I have to go to there, that side of the garage, back side of the garage, make that corner, and then over to there, and then a wall in here. So I don't know if I'll be able to do it or not, but I'm gonna give it my best shot. A lot of it's gonna be like most of that pile of forms and this pile. I gotta carry all of them to that back wall because that's where they go. So just see how it goes. Yay.
So the first time it was a foot off, like this way. It was like too far that way. And then now I like take out all the screws and move it. Now,
I forgot to account for the floor thickness.
yeah. So it would have been like 4 inches lower than like the rest of like the door heights and stuff or something. So he's gonna move it after we just put so much rebar to reinforce this thing. Like we didn't, I don't know that we really need to put that much rebar up, but it's good. It's good. So now we're gonna, well, I'm not gonna, Joe's going to take all the rebar down. I am going to watch that and the screws. So, and then move it and then put the screws back in. And there's like so many screws on the back too. Like you already saw, you know, but yeah. That's what's happening right now anyway. So we are almost done with like putting up all the forms, and then that means we get to pour in the forms and then take all the forms down again. So we're just gonna be dealing with a lot of forms here in the next couple weeks.